Hey, what's happening, gamers? It's Kaling here. Thought I'd go kind of casual this time around. Anyway, I am a little upset with all the bad, and I mean bad, reviews of Metroid Other M. I am shocked by my colleagues and so-called reviewers who are just nitpicking at this game, so it's time for me to do it the way it's supposed to be done. I hope you guys enjoy the review, and I'll be back at the end. Metroid Other M is a direct sequel to Super Metroid and picks up after the final battle with Mother Brain in a beautiful cinematic. The game is developed by Team Ninja, and the story was written by Metroid veteran, this guy, who hasn't written a story for Metroid since Super Metroid. Nintendo wanted to dive into Samus's past, and this is the game Metroid fans have waited decades for. A true sequel to Super Metroid. It features breathtaking visuals and a rich storyline that will keep you guessing until the very end. Like Metroid Fusion, Samus is following the orders of Adam once again, and as the game progresses, her powers are unlocked. This isn't a new concept, mind you, but a welcome change from having to find all her abilities all over again like the previous Metroids. Unlike the Prime series, which is a first-person adventure, Other M is a 3D side-scrolling action game, and goes back to the traditional gameplay of the 2D Metroid games like Super Metroid and, of course, Fusion. Now, the game is actually played like the original Metroid on the NES. Since the developers knew it would be crazy difficult to aim with Samus's arm cannon, they've incorporated an auto-aim system that is very easy to use and is deadly accurate. The first-person element from Prime plays a part in this game as well. By pointing the Wiimote at the screen, you enter into the visor mode. This is used a lot during the game and is the only way you can scan and use missiles, which some people actually don't like using the missiles, but it's needed to beat a lot of the enemies. If you want, you can shoot enemies in this game, but you're stationary in this mode. Although when the visor flashes green, you can dodge the attack by shaking the Wiimote at the right time. Dodging is a great new addition to the series and very important in this game. When an enemy attacks you, you press the gamepad and Samus will avoid the oncoming onslaught. Another new addition is the concentration mode, where Samus is able to recover missiles at any time during the game, by pressing the Wiimote up and holding in the A button. The concentrate feature also comes in handy when you're low on energy too, and during some very heated boss fights. Lastly, Samus can get her hands dirty in this game as well, by performing some pretty insane melee attacks on your foes. Now that's hardcore. She also has finisher moves, and all of her attacks can be used on every type of enemy in this game. That is awesome! So, what don't I like about this game? And no, it doesn't have to do with the neo-feminist crap, the story, the auto-aim, the cutscene where Samus is crying like a little girl when facing Ridley, and of course the difficulty. No, only hacks complain about that. Besides, Team Ninja is known for hard games, and yes, you will die a lot. So what? I'm actually looking at this game more from a Metroid fan perspective, and as a video game in general, and I'm not going to be nitpicking things. What I'm not thrilled about the most has to be the first-person mode. Again, this is a minor issue, but for me it does seem to slow down the game just a little bit. The scanning levels are very annoying as well, and can be downright frustrating at times and really slow down the action. As awesome as the cutscenes are, if I've already seen them, there's no way to skip the movies, and that just really bugs me. However, as a fan of the series, there are a few key missing elements that annoy me the most. Number 1, when I shoot doors, they don't open! I know it's a small thing, but when I shoot a door, it better open! This is Metroid after all! Not having my door shooting fixed, Team Ninja, just really boils me up! And it also hurts me at the same time. Number 2, killing enemies rewards me with nothing! No health and no missiles. This is a series staple in the Metroid games. I understand the dodge system is in place, so you don't need to worry about taking constant damage. Even still, the developers should have still had enemies drop health. It's no excuse. Number 3, there are way too many save stations in this game. Almost one every 15 minutes. Ugh, what is up with that? I never remember having that many save stations in a Metroid game. Any of them.
Lastly, the only time that I didn't like Adam unlocking the powers is when Samus enters Section 3 and is losing health constantly due to the pressure of the heat. It's not until she reaches the very end of the level, mind you, where Adam says, "You can use your variant suit now, Samus." Gee, thanks, Adam! This would have come in handy at the beginning of the level, as my health is being depleted and I'm getting my butt kicked by all the enemies. But no, I have to wait till the very end? That's just stupid. And those are the only problems I had with this game. Moving on to the stuff that I liked about this game, and yes, it is an incredible game. Other M is the best looking game on the Wii to date. The visuals really push the hardware capabilities and deliver some serious eye candy for the viewer. Voice acting in this game is pretty solid, and I didn't have to mute them at all, so I enjoyed that. While I still think my wife is the best voice of Samus, see my Metroid and Super Metroid review to see her in action, Jessica Martin did a great job nonetheless. Especially all her monologuing scenes, which are in the Metroid games, by the way. It made her character feel more fleshed out instead of being a silent protagonist and me having to read lots of text, so I like that. While the graphics are excellent in this game, the gameplay is what makes this game shine brighter than any star. I was a little worried that Other M would be a 2.5D side-scroller, but instead was pleasantly surprised when it turned out to be a full 3D side-scroller. And you know this game is in full 3D when you can walk up to the front of the screen and Samus gets bigger, and when you run away she gets smaller. That shows that this is a great game. Shooting, jumping, and using Samus's abilities are just as easy and as fun to pull off as the original Super Metroid. And I love that! The people that saying Samus isn't a bad are morons. With the inclusion of her close combat and finisher moves, this makes Samus one of the coolest, if not the coolest, video game characters ever devised. Just look at some of these moves. That is hardcore, folks, and filled with so much awesome sauce. Frankly, this stuff is just the icing on the cake though, folks. Other M was able to capture the look and feel of the classic Metroid games to the T, and has given the players many unique ways of exploring the bottle ship, getting missiles, and energy upgrades as well. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of getting only one missile at a time in this game, but with all the hidden stuff in this game, it makes this the longest Metroid game ever made, and one that's going to reward you with a lot of playthroughs. Remember that most Metroid games can be beaten in 2 hours. Other M cannot. I bet you're surprised at all the different points that I had in this review. Well, that's what I didn't like about the game. Now, I'm not a Super Metroid fan, even though I do like the game Super Metroid, so I kind of went at this looking at the glass half full instead of half empty. And I have to say that Team Ninja and Nintendo came together to make a great game. The auto-aim really isn't that bad, and without it, literally, this game would suck. Because the way the game isn't a 2.5D side-scroller, there would be no way for accurate shooting. It would be impossible. If you incorporated the nunchuck, possibly, but just using the directional pad without the auto-aim, this game would be abysmal. So I hope that I've given you guys more of an open mind toward Metroid the Other M. The game is definitely worth checking out. I would suggest buying it as soon as you could. For those of you that are skeptical, give this game a rental. See what you think about it. Anyway, guys, that wraps up another episode of Luke's Initiative. As you've kind of guessed, we don't really have an intro plan this time around. GameZone's doing some things a little bit differently, but I want to let you guys know now that every Friday there will be a brand new episode of Luke's Initiative here on GameZone. So I hope you guys will look forward to that. As always, this has been another K-Wing or Luke review. Thank you so much for watching. God bless and happy gaming, and until we meet again, gamers, see ya!